Hi all, welcome you to the next video from Powershell for Automation platform. So if you have already watched my first video, you will get an idea about where this video is going to fit into in our current video series. I have given the link along with this video so that you can refer to the previous videos for that. In this video, I am going to explain on how to set up a lab in your own laptop, desktop or workstation. Many of you might already know about the working of the tools like VMware Player, VMware Workstation Pro, Oracle VirtualBox, etc. All of these tools equips us to create VMs in our host machine or laptop. I will demonstrate VMware Workstation Player here to create and configure virtual machines for the purpose of learning automation using PowerShell in this course. The plan is to create three virtual machines named Central Server, VM1 and VM2 using VMware Workstation Player. So the Central Server is the server from where you will be executing the PowerShell scripts from. So you'll be writing all your scripts in the Central Server from which the scripts will be pulling the information from VM1 and VM2 server, or it can deploy something from the Central Server to VM1 and VM2 server. So we will now see how you can create virtual machines by using VMware Workstation Player. So for that, you have to go to the VMware site. You can search for VMware Player download and it will take you to the VMware site. Just click on that and here you will see a link to download the Workstation 15.5 player for Windows. So you can click on that, it will download the binary files here. So it will take some time and we can pause that and we will come back once it is downloaded. So as I already told, VMware Workstation Player is free for non-commercial, personal and home use. As you can see, we have downloaded the VMware Player software here and we are running that binaries now. So you can run as administrator, though that is not mandatory. So that will take you to the home page of that particular software. So this is going to be a straightway installation. So we came over here and just click on next, accept the agreements. You don't need to click really here. Just you don't need to join this particular customer experience improvement program. Really don't need the updates as of now. Okay, these checkboxes you can check and click on install. So this will just take a couple of seconds to install the VMware Workstation Player. So this is the software which we are going to use in this course for creating and managing the virtual machines for your automation learning purposes. So we have to wait till it gets completed. So it doesn't require a reboot. So it's now installing the virtual network drivers and all. As I have mentioned in my previous videos, it is not really required to have a deep level knowledge on this VMware technologies and all from an automation perspective. So you just need to install this software for creating and managing the virtual machines. Our focus is actually on automation part. So how to create PowerShell scripts, how can you schedule your scripts in the virtual machines. So that is what our focus is. So it will take some time. So as I told, it is a straightaway installation and won't take that much amount of time normally. So click on finish. Once the VMware Player is installed on your laptop, the very next thing that you need to do is to download the Windows Server binaries from the Microsoft website. So this binary, mostly in the form of ISO, is actually used for creating the virtual machines using VMware Player. So in order to download the Windows Server binaries or executables, you come to Google and search for Windows Server and the version that you really require. So I am just looking for 2016 and search for the corresponding ISO. So download it. So it will take you to the Microsoft page. So click on the link and it will take you to the Microsoft page where you can download the respective Windows Server binaries. So you can download the ISO format of the Windows Server and you can click on continue. You have to fill a few details here. So that is mandatory to furnish these details. So you type the name here, then give the company name, give some size to the company, just give some title, have a work email address here. You can even give an Outlook address as well, it will accept that also. So if you don't have, create one Outlook address and update it here. I haven't ever tried whether Gmail will work here or not, so you can very well give a try for with Gmail as well. Outlook will work fine, and that is pretty sure. I have already tried that. So give some number of your of your office, or you can even give your personal number as well. Then select the country. I have selected India. I don't really want to check this, so click on continue, and I have to select a language here. I will select English and click on download. Once you click the download button, it will start downloading the Windows Server 2016. Note that this is going to be an evaluation version and it is having an expiry of 180 days. So it is valid for 6 months. It will take some time to get this binaries downloaded. I will pause the session here and I will just resume once the download is completed. So hope it is clear regarding the download part of Windows Server binaries from the Microsoft website. So you have to download it and keep it in some folder, and from where we can use it to create the virtual machines by making use of VMware Player. As you can see, we have downloaded the Windows Server 2016 Data Center Evaluation Edition to my laptop. I have kept it in the folder d/sw. You can keep it at any location that you want. Next step is to create virtual machines making use of VMware Player using this Windows binaries that we have downloaded from the Microsoft website. Prior to that, I would like to revisit you to this slide where we have discussed about the virtual machines that we are going to create. Our plan is to create three virtual machines: Central Server, VM1 and VM2. In this demo, I am going to show you how you can create the virtual machine named VM1. The creation of the remaining two virtual machines remain the same as how you are creating the virtual machine VM1. With that said, I'm going to open up the tool VMware Player. So go to Start and search for VMware Workstation 15 Player. So once you open that software, you will get a page similar to this. There are totally three options here where you can create a new virtual machine, you can open an existing virtual machine, or you can download a virtual appliance. So create a new virtual machine, as the name indicates, is for creating new virtual machines. And if you already have created a virtual machine, you can open it by using the second option called open a virtual machine. The third option is to download a virtual appliance from VMware site. So virtual appliance is nothing but it's a kind of pre-built, pre-configured and ready to run software application packaged within the operating system inside a virtual machine. That is something that is not coming in our scope now. Click on create a new virtual machine option so that it will open up to this window. So here there are three options with which you can create your virtual machine from the Windows binaries. One is using the installer disk. Installer disk is nothing but if you have the Windows binary ISO with you, you can mount that Windows Server binary to a disk in your system and you can map your drive here. You can point that mounted disk to this particular option. So we are not going to do that in this demo. So the second option is installer disk image. So if you have an ISO in place, you can browse to the location where the Windows binary ISO is kept and select on that and click open. So it is one of the preferred option, but I'm not going ahead with that option as in my workstation there is some issues when I'm selecting this option and I'm getting some error while the virtual machine is going through the booting phase. So the third option is I will install the operating system later. So this option means you will specify the Windows binary on a later stage. So I will show you where I will enter that. So with that, I am going to next page where I have to select the operating system. So I'm selecting the operating system, as you know, Microsoft Windows, and I have downloaded the binaries of 2016 Windows Server. So I'm selecting Windows Server 2016. So click on next, and here I am naming the virtual machine as VM1. Here you can find a location under the documents folder with a folder name called virtual machines. Inside this virtual machine folder, all the VMware dependent files of the respective VMs will be placed. In our case, there will be a folder named VM1 will be created under the virtual machines folder. You can change its location if you want. I will show the folder contents once our VM gets created. So with that said, I'm going to the next page. In this page, you need to specify the disk size that you want to allocate to your VM. A size of 30 GB would suffice, though it is recommended to have 60 GB. And there is another option to select whether you have to save the virtual disk as a single file or multiple files. A virtual disk is nothing but a VMTK file that is storing all the operating system level details to as a disk. So once you create this VM, a VMTK file will be created in the location where we have mentioned this VM has to be residing on. So at that location, there will be a VMDK file that will get created if you are selecting this option. And obviously, if you are selecting this option, split the virtual disk into multiple files, then it will create multiple files of the virtual disk. So that will be convenient if you have plans to migrate your virtual machines from one host to another or so. So we are going ahead with the store virtual disk as a single file, and I am just giving a value of 30 for the 30 GB for the disk size. Having said that, I am going to the next page where you can do any more customizations if you want. So here the memory is 2 GB. I don't want to allocate 2 GB from my laptop. I am just giving 1024. So that would be pretty enough as per our scope of automation. So processors, it is fine to have two. And here you can see an option called a new CD or DVD. So this is the location where I have to refer my ISO image of the Windows binaries that I have downloaded. So here you have to browse and navigate to the page where your binaries are located. So my binaries are kept inside this folder d/sw, and I'm clicking on this binaries, click open. So the configuration part is complete now. You can click on close and click the finish option in this page. So once you click on finish, you can see that a tab named VM1 has been created on the left hand side. So here, in order to open your virtual machine, you have to click play virtual machine. So when you play virtual machine, what exactly it does is it will boot up the OS of the virtual machine. So here you can see that you encountered an error called timeout, and it is showing EFI network. So in your case also you may face this or you may not, but in my laptop I used to face this, so I have found a workaround for this. So I will show that, and after that we can go ahead and play the virtual machine again. So I am just stopping this virtual machine for now. So for that you can go here, click on this and click on shutdown guest. Now what I have to do is I have to navigate to the location where my VM files are residing. So this is the location where I have created my virtual machine named VM1. Here there are a set of files that already got created as part of the virtual machine creation. There are a set of files here, and if you remember, I told about the VMDK file, and this is that VMDK file. If you click on properties, you can see the extension mentioned as VMDK. So this is the disk where all the OS level information of the virtual machine will be stored on. Here you can find another item called VMware Virtual Machine Configuration, or a VMX file. So right click on that, click on properties. You can see this is the extension of this file is .vmx. So this VMX file requires a minor change for get our virtual machine booting up fine. So for that I am editing this using a notepad. Here search for firmware. In this page click on find. So you can find a line where it is mentioned the firmware as EFI. I'm not explaining more about this because our focus is on the automation part. So I just want to get this virtual machine built somehow. Okay, so if you're facing this issue, you can come and do this. So instead of EFI, you mention it as BIOS and you can save that file. So once you save that file, you can come back to the VMware player again. Still the VM1 option is there in the VMware player. So if it is not there, you can open the virtual machine using this option, open a virtual machine. So since we have already that in place, I'm not going ahead with it. So click on VM1 and do the same step that we have done earlier, play virtual machine. So in this case, you won't get that error saying the timeout error. So once you've done that, you may have to wait for some time to get this pop, get the setup running. Okay, now it came out properly. So now you got a page where you have to set up the windows for the first time. So you don't need to make any changes over here if it is showing as English US as language and time format as well as the keyboard. So click on next and you have to click on the option install now. So it will automatically do the installation part by itself and you may have to wait for some time for this installation to get completed. So now you can see there are 4 options that has been shown up in the screen. Uh, you have to select the convenient one that you want. So out of these 4 operating systems, we can choose whatever we want. So you have to note that 2 operating systems options are having something in the bracket that is nothing but the desktop experience. So as the name indicates, the desktop experience means you will have a graphical user interface to manage the virtual machine. So if you are choosing the first option or the third option, you have to manage the virtual machine using command prompts. So for our case, we are selecting the second option, Windows Server 2016 Standard Evaluation Version, and clicking on Next. Accept the license term, just click on it. In this page, I will go ahead with the custom option, that is to install Windows only, so that I can do some sort of configuration changes in this. In this page, I have to mention where Windows is going to install. We have already assigned some space to the OS and it is shown as unallocated space here. So the total size is shown as 30 GB, which is what we have assigned to it. This disk is now shown as unallocated space now. Once you click on next, it will get allocated itself and the Windows installation will start to this particular disk. Click on next now so that the installation of Windows will start. It will take some time. We can pause the video till then and I will resume it once the Windows installation is completed for this VM. We are back. The installation is completed and this is a page to set up your password for the administrator. So set up a strong password here. Click on finish so that the final settings will also get updated. So this is your virtual machine named VM1. So in order to log into it, you click on this button that will pass on Control Alt Delete commands to the server. Here you can enter the password. That will take you to the virtual machine. So this is the virtual machine named VM1 and once you log into the server, So you will get a notification regarding whether you want to join this server to the network or not. So you can click on yes, so that you will be able to enjoy your local server internet connection in virtual machine as well. You might have noticed the screen size of this virtual machine is pretty small, and it is not full screen as it used to be in the normal servers or in the screen of your laptop or so. So why is it so? We know that we have installed this virtual machine by making use of the VMware technology. In order to get the full functionalities of the VMware technology, we should install the VMware tools in this server. So VMware tools is nothing but an optional set of drivers and utilities that enhances both the performance of your virtual machines, guest operating system, and the interaction between the guest and the host. So it actually provides administrators with the ability to cut and paste text between the VMware remote console and the host operating system. It also improves the mouse pointer and screen resolution functionality. In order to install VMware tools in the machine, we have to click on Player and go to Manage and click on Install VMware Tools. So once you click on Install VMware Tools, you will notice that there is a drive that got mounted to the server with the name VMware Tools. This is actually your installation files for VMware Tools. So you just need to run that so that the VMware tools will get automatically installed into your system. So it will open up into a page for performing the installation. So click on next. It is enough to select the typical option. So click on next and click on install. It will take some time to do the installation. Once this is installed, it will ask for a server restart. So once you restart the server and once the server comes back, you can see that the screen size issue will get resolved. It's now completed. So click on finish. So as I told, it will ask for the restart of your virtual machine in order to get the changes reflected. So I have initiated the restart of this virtual machine and waiting for the VM to come back. I will pause this video here and I will resume once the restart is completed. The restart is completed. Now you have to click on the full screen button so that it will take the virtual machine to the full screen mode. Now again click on Control Alt Delete option to get into the server. Type your password here. So now the virtual machine is acting like a real server to you. This is how you have to create a virtual machine using VMPlayer. So we have completed the installation of server VM1 and we will do the installation of the other two servers as well, named Central Server and VM2. I am skipping those VM creations part in this video as it is the same way how you have created the virtual machine VM1. Only difference will be with the naming part. I will create and keep the virtual machines ready for the next video. With this video, we have completed how to set up your own lab in your workstation or laptop, which is the second section of our video series Powershell for Automation. In next video, we will start with the essential PowerShell concepts one should know to perform the automation. We will be discussing on what is PowerShell, how to open PowerShell tool, what is PowerShell ISC, what are commandlets in PowerShell that you need to know while performing the automation, overview of how to make use of PowerShell based on your job profile in automation. Thanks for watching this video and I will see you soon in the next videos. So thanks again.